part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane.
This is Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action.
This is Mark Wade, writer of Superman Birthright.
You're listening to the Krypton Report.
Welcome to the Krypton Report. I am your host, Tyler, the Superman of Blue, the Man of Tomorrow. And with me is that mighty master of all things awesome and red with a beard that says it all, the man who plows snows just by looking at it, Mr. James Cole. Welcome, buddy.
Yeah. Use my heat vision, melt it all.
That's what I said, man, when you're out there working and having to plow in snow. I was like, just use your heat vision.
Right? Yeah, that would be nice. Oh,
you're like, Tyler, I'm not really Superman, you dumbass. I'm like,
right?
I've been watching.
Wouldn't really be sore today from putting out all that salt if I was.
Yeah, the DA words become more common in my vernacular because I've been watching. We watched all of that 90s show, and then we've been for the past month and a half watching that 70s show. So you just let Little Red Foreman slip in there every now and then.
Right.
But hey, man, we got a lot of like small nuggets of things to talk about. Been an interesting
yeah, because we're really just waiting for any news.
Yeah, like
see really to come out.
The Super Bowl falls on my birthday this year, and that's when we get the full Flash trailer. So we will get the Flash trailer on my birthday.
Ooh, happy birthday.
Yeah.
That'll be a good present.
I know. And I'm pretty pumped about that. And speaking of the Flash movie, spoilerish, I guess, is we got some looks at some of the toys, like the packaging on the toys. And there is a toy, okay? Skip ahead like 2 minutes, people, if you don't want to hear this. That's called Dark Flash. That's all it says, Dark Flash. And
yeah.
he looks kind of like the Black Flash that Thawne was last season on the Flash.
Yeah, he's got some like things that are like coming up off of his shoulders and stuff. I don't think I've seen what you're talking about.
It's the same with the Eobard Thawne in the
yeah,
TV
it really
show.
looked like that picture you sent of the Dark Flash. Yeah, I'm wondering how that's gonna be. I mean, we've heard a lot that the Flash is the villain of the movie, so it's a very good possibility that it's just another multiversal Flash. I mean, there has been Black Flashes and stuff like that over the years that have more represented like death and the Speed Force and things like that.
Mm-hmm. The Black Racer and stuff like that. So yeah, it's cool. We have a lot of like little trailers to talk about if you think about it. Like, but quick notes. It is rumored that Titans will return in April. That's the biggest rumor I've seen. I'm kind of bummed that they didn't, like, as soon as, part 1 of Doom Patrol ended, they didn't go into part 2 of Titans. That kind of bummed me out. Battle for the Super Sons is on HBO Max, people. It was dropped early. It's getting a lot of buzz since it's on HBO Max. And it seems like that's becoming the new thing that a lot of people are waiting till they hit HBO Max to really dive into these animated films. And it's kind of a bummer. So, yeah. Now, getting into some other things. We got a trailer for the Flash TV series, Season 9. And it was cool. Like, it just didn't really give us a whole bunch. But
no,
I enjoyed it. Let's see. I think I have.
It looked good. It makes me want to catch up on the last 2 seasons of The Flash so I can watch it as it goes out.
We get a quick glimpse about a new speedster. We see Red Death. We have some dialogue about Iris complaining that Barry's talking about seeing things before they happen, and she doesn't want to know everything that's going to happen in the future. Yada yada yada. So. That's cool. Can't wait for that. We have like 17 days or something as of this recording until it drops. We also got another season 9 poster, which is neat because it's Barry running down the street, but then in the windows of like the stores to the side, the buildings are all the first poster for each season. So kind of trying to culminate there and show us, hey, this is the end of the Flash.
Right. I mean, it's kind of the official send-off of the Arrowverse.
The Arrowverse proper, or the Arrowverse Prime.
Yeah.
Because they...
Well, I mean, Superman and Lois is a thing, but it's on a different Earth.
But it's all in the... This is the end of the Earth Prime.
Yeah.
Because they showed us that it's all connected. But this is the last of the Earth Prime. I mean, it was the second series. It's gone... It's gone the longest.
Right.
So it's going to be sad. It's going but all good things must end. Nothing gold can stay, Pony Boy. We did get Shazam! Fury of the Gods. We got a TV spot where before this month is over, we're supposed to get a full trailer, a new trailer, but it had some new footage in it. So, we saw Billy / Shazam holding the staff and shoot lightning from his hand. We saw more of the dragon.
Yeah, the dragon stuff was pretty cool looking.
So that's cool. We did learn that it's going to be released in China, which is great because that means that movie will probably do very well. Having that whole other market. Had Black Adam, I think, released in China, it would have done a lot better as well. And we've got a lot of promo art for Shazam. And I'll be honest, a lot of this art that I've seen for it, it's okay. Like, it's nothing that's got me, like, super excited. It kind of just looks like, almost like AI drawings. You know what I'm saying? Like how there's been that big thing of, like, AI art.
Yeah.
It's like, they have a thing that says Billy Batson, and it shows, him as the champion. It says the champion. Mary Bromfield, the brains. Darla Dudley, the speed. Freddie Freeman, the nerd. Eugene Choi, the gamer. And then Pedro Pineda, the muscle. And I didn't realize how many of their names were alliterations till just now. But anyways, I mean, it's cool. Like, it's playing up some imagery, but none of the promo arts really got me super stoked. But I'm already super stoked for the movie. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's the next thing to come. It's, we really enjoyed Shazam 1, and I know everybody around here is going to enjoy watching it once it eventually comes home.
I mean, yeah, like, we got some Shazam artwork, those like drawings and stuff. Shazam 1 is probably one of my favorite DC comic book films ever. It's just a good time and fun. Even when you just want to throw, the evil woman off a cliff.
Yeah. No, it is a great movie. It's a family friendly movie that you can put on any time.
Even
though
just
enjoy it.
Even though it's Christmas, like you can just kind of put it on any time, because that's really how I look at it. Is even though it's a Christmas film, I watch it any time of the year. So,
yeah,
it always just kind of makes me happy. Now,
it very much is Christmas, but it's not like overtly Christmas. But it very much is Christmas.
Now, did we talk about that dismal thing called the Gotham Knights trailer yet?
You know what? I'd have to watch it right now just to right now just to get some sort of idea. Because it doesn't stick. You know what I mean? Like, watching that stuff doesn't stick in my head.
So basically, they're trying hard to get me to watch this thing because, like I told you, we know that Misha Collins is going to be in Two-Face makeup, okay? But in the trailer for Gotham Knights, we see a Talon. We see a Talon attack, and the new character, I don't even want to say his name because it's stupid, but it's holding a sword, and the Talons attack. It's a Talon. And I'm just like, they are trying very hard to get me to watch this thing.
Yeah. This image sticks, you know. I remember this one, but yeah, I just don't remember the trailer itself.
Yeah, there's not much other than just the same crap that we're just like, eh. But, you know, he's being blamed for the murder of Bruce Wayne. And the whole idea of, like, the Joker's daughter character is such a weird character that her last name's Dent, but yet her name's Duella Dent. And she's supposed to be the Joker's daughter, but yet she seems more like she should be Two-Face's daughter. And they're trying to make her out to be like a good character. Yeah, this show's going to bomb. But I at least have to watch an episode when Misha's in makeup.
Yeah. You know, no matter how much we talk about this show, because we bring it up a lot because it's still a thing and they're promoting it and everything. It's, you know, Superman and Lois is going to lead into it. And I just, as much as we talk about it, it just keeps falling off of my radar.
Oh yeah, I'm not. It's only gonna like do anything because it's gonna premiere after Superman and Lois. So now, moving on, I'm gonna hold one thing till last. We did get some more pictures of the Legion film. It is coming in February. It showed Supergirl with what looks like another Supergirl, another Kara, but in a different outfit. We got Solomon Grundy. Then we see Superman and Supergirl at the farm. Then we got a clip that has the two of them talking, and Clark throws like this orb ball thingy that opens a portal, and they decide to fly through it, taking them to the future. And we got a little clip of Batman and Superman kind of arguing about Kara's purpose in being on Earth. So I feel like they're doing some really good marketing to try to get this film out in February. And I'm really hinting at the February part because there's a reason. But what do you think about the Legion, what we're seeing?
I mean, I'm kind of excited that it's coming out at this time, you know, where we're kind of watching the Legion. So yeah. It's really cool to have it associated.
It's almost like we planned that, James.
Yeah, kind of. I enjoyed the clips that I saw. Jensen Ackles as Batman is really good. I'm glad to have him as the Tomorrowverse Batman.
I agree.
And I'm excited to have Supergirl in this. Unfortunately, you know, we were just getting to the point where we had that awesome cliffhanger and Kara showing up in Young Justice and then we don't have nothing coming that we're
yeah,
that it seems like. So it's good to get some more Kryptonian content.
And the way that they're skipping around with this Tomorrowverse, I mean, by the next film we might have John Kent. So who knows? You know?
Yeah, seriously.
So all that to say, we got our first trailer for the next DC animated film, The Doom That Came to Gotham. Now, I read this when they announced this because I was intrigued by it. It's written by Mike Mignola. You know, most famous for creating and writing Hellboy. It's a very Lovecraftian Batman story. And the trailer, I was surprised that this one's rated PG-13, first of all. I'm glad it is, because I don't think the R animated film actually ever really do that great. But it's PG-13. It definitely looks very intense. But this one's coming out in March.
Yeah, like month and a half behind Legion.
And usually they're a couple months because they're like 4 movies a year, one per quarter. You get the first one, then you get one in like the more spring, summer, then like late summer into fall, and then one towards, late fall, winter.
Right. Well, these movies have always been really good sellers. I mean, they've been producing them now for since 2007.
Yeah.
Or releasing them, should I say, since 2007. I mean, we're 16 years out. It's longer than the MCU.
Yes. It's pretty awesome and makes me feel old.
I know, right? But I would not be opposed to them doing more, doing 5 or 6 a year, just to fill out the. As long as they can keep the quality up, this animation appears. I mean, it's really good, but it also appears like it's probably
easier,
like a cheaper way to go about it.
Yeah.
Which I think helps with definitely the speed as well as the quality. I mean, it's very good.
It's like there for a while when they would do like you had the 4 main ones, and then you had like a one-off. Like we had for 2 years we had those Batman 66 films. We had the Teen Titans versus the Teen Titans Go. We had what do you call it? Was one of the Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. These are all separate animated films that were not part of this. The animated DC division or whatever.
The ongoing
but not even
continuity
not even the continuity. They were like, because I think they were done by like Warner Brothers Animation compared to being by like the DC Animation. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, we were getting like an extra film with these characters, and that's kind of stopped. Like, because now even like the odd ones, like the Catwoman Hunted, was like part of the rotation of these animated films. And we're going to be getting that other anime-based film, I think, comes out after the Doom that came to Gotham.
Yeah, the Ruby and Justice League.
Yeah, I ain't watching that, so we'll skip that one.
So I'll watch it because I like anime, but I don't have a whole lot of like interest peaked. I mean, it's DC and anime, and some I've enjoyed and some I haven't, and there's been a handful of DC anime film pictures that have come out.
And then today, as of this recording, we got our first trailer for the Harley Quinn, a very problematic Valentine's Day special. So, James, what did you think about this?
Actually, you know what? That is one I have not had a chance to watch. I was busy and I totally forgot about that. So,
all right, hold on. And
give me. Oh, Jesus!
We're
that
back.
Was great.
So it's going to be very, very, very adult. We see Zatanna and the Flash together. King Shark has him a lady. Bruce is in jail. Catwoman with some Kite Man has a woman. And Bane talks to Etrigan and gets a nice little rhyme.
The Bane rhyme. And then the Bane later on.
Bane and then Darkseid is in love with maybe Talia al Ghul, maybe?
I don't know who that is. It's her cold, dead eyes from across the room. Darkseid is in love.
And then Clock King and Riddler. And then a very interesting Harley and Ivy scene that infects everybody to participate in activity together. So this is going to be a very, very interesting, maybe a Patreon review.
I feel like we can only talk about the trailer on a Patreon.
Yeah. Woo! But that's coming February 9th. Interesting.
A lot of imagery.
Good thing it's an animation. Whew. It'd be like an episode of Doom Patrol. Whew. Okay. And
I
the
love how it
last
starts with Zatanna and the Flash.
Oh, that's a couple. I'm like, never thought of them, but okay. The last thing is the 30-second trailer clip for Superman and Lois season 3. James, how many times you watched this?
Let me do. Oh, this one. Yeah, I've seen this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How many times you watched this? Because very interesting.
I've watched it a few times.
And so some of the highlights is we see Clark in his new suit. It's Jonathan and Jordan's birthday. We get a line from Lois that she might be pregnant. Lois goes missing. And that we see the Daily Planet crumbling. And it's crumbling and falling towards Lois as Clark's flying. And looks very intense. We have a line with Sam saying, like, basically what happened to my daughter. And we see Nat and John in their suits. We see Jordan with his heat vision. So, yeah, I mean, 30 seconds, I'm in.
Yeah, 30 seconds. There's a lot here, but it's like you said, like you described just about everything that happened in it, and that's it. Like there's nothing to say what is going on with anything here, except for it looks like Lois is in peril, and the Daily Planet ball falling down looks pretty awesome.
Yeah,
you know why
is it people? So, can I ask you this question? From this trailer, do you see where they're doing injustice?
Do I see where they're doing? I have not clocked anything that would.
Exactly. You know how many people said, oh, so they're going to do Injustice for season 3. And I'm like, how are you getting that from this trailer? Like, I got in an argument with some dude on Twitter. I'm like, how are you getting that from this trailer? You can't. Because Injustice was more than just the death of Lois. People are stupid, just clickbait.
Yeah. No, I just looked for anything specific just now. Again, like it says 30 seconds, so just keep replaying it. No, nothing at all there. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like the most recent thing, and it's like, there are people out there now who all they complain about is bad Superman.
Yep.
So, it's just another reason for somebody to say something negative towards Superman. You know what I mean? Besides him being boring and a Boy Scout and blah, blah, blah. Now it's like evil Superman. I didn't see anything there. I don't suspect anything's going to happen to Lois. Not in this show. I don't feel that that's going to happen, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking forward to the new season very much. Can't wait for the first episode.
Same.
It's a pretty intense 30 seconds.
And I think that's all I need. I'm like, bring it on. So that's all the news that we got. There, we're all caught up.
Woo woo.
And now we'll talk about some other things. Any fun comics, just like we've kind of been talking about World's Finest, and we can tackle those two if you'd like.
Yeah, I did read World's Finest 9 and 10.
All right. Thoughts?
Well, I do. It's kind of funny it's always fun to watch the Joker teamed up with people, and whoever this key character is, I kind of like the way that they're working together. You know what I mean? Like the key is like just doing his thing, but he's always observing the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like he's in any real danger with the Joker, but
Yeah.
you know, as somebody working with the Joker, because you know most of the time people working with the Joker end up dead.
This is true.
So, yeah, and I mean the ending of 10 is definitely an interesting grab, because I wanna talk about that, but I don't want to jump to the end of 10.
Go for it. We're just kind of talking about him in general.
Okay. Well, you know, so we have David. We have the kid from New Gotham, or like Planet Gotham or something,
Mm-hmm.
that where he came from. And, you know, he's super powered. He's working with Batman. Batman's trying to teach him. Last we knew, Joker was really excited that there's a new sidekick in the group. I love that the Joker pulls out the Angler's hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's every time I see the Joker do something like this, I just like reading it. I just hear Mark Hamill.
Yeah, Mark Hamill, who's officially tired from being the Joker, because he says he can't do it without Kevin being Batman, and that was always his big driving force, was if Kevin was doing it, he was on board. So
Right. I mean, that is sad. I mean, that's a huge loss to make it two people, but I mean, they've worked together for 30 years doing that.
I think it would have been interesting if they can find a way of doing kind of a, almost like the Joker saying farewell to Batman in a way of like, oh man, he's not here anymore. Like, who am I going to play with? And like the Joker kind of like giving up because Batman's not around anymore. I don't know. It'd be kind of neat, just something for Mark Hamill to kind of say farewell and pay tribute to Kevin.
Right. Got the Flash and Superman out at sea helping people. I like that. I like the exercise. You can fly, right? Got Aqualad coming up, bringing a whale to stop some pirates from taking a ship. Say pirates or mercenaries, one of the two.
Same thing.
Yeah. The Titans show up. Got Robin, Kid Flash, Donna Troy, and like they're having discussions with David here. Anyways, I kind of lost track. I was saying, so we got David, who is super powered. I like him having these interactions with so many characters. He's having, you know, he's trying to be friends with the Titans. He's working with Batman and Superman, trying to learn from them. But he clearly has some anger and power issues.
Yep.
So he during one of his during an adventure, they stop the city from flooding. It was a pretty cool, interesting thing where Key like opened a door to the bottom of Gotham River and started flooding the city. It's pretty interesting. Not wholly original at this point, but
nope.
It was pretty awesome the way it was done. But we get David, who is taken right out from behind Batman, and he's kidnapped by the Joker. And then in the next issue, Joker is torturing him. We get a nice little backstory for Key, which was interesting.
It was.
Joker with his Joker gas and famously the crowbar.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's looking for him. They've got the Titans, Batman and Superman scouring the city trying to find him. All the doors the doors that they come across was really cool. I love how they solved that puzzle. Saying that Joker wears gloves and the key doesn't, and Superman uses his microscopic vision and he identifies the only door that they used because of fingerprints. So that was a pretty sweet use of the powers. They rescue David. While they're busy with a giant creature fighting, David goes after the Joker very angrily. He destroys his whole fun house, and he's saying he's gonna kill him. He's gonna kill him. He says, "Die, you sick freak." He says, "You tortured me, you bleeping psychopath. You tortured me and got off on it. If I ever lay eyes on you again, ever, I swear I'll kill you. I don't care if it's tomorrow or 20 years from now. I will kill you." And he's Magog.
Mm-hmm.
From Kingdom Come, kills the Joker, and the people go. That's when everything turns around. That's the injustice that Superman doesn't believe in.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where that story kicks off. So that was really cool. Really cool final page. I didn't see David being Magog.
Yep.
Mainly because I don't know where Magog comes from, but that story alone. But yeah, I didn't see him. But it's Mark Waid wrote that. He's writing this. I think it's pretty awesome.
Mark Waid it's interesting how much he's cementing himself back into DC Comics right now, because I started reading, of course we've been reading this. I started reading the Batman versus Robin.
Yeah, I want to read that. And there's 3 or 4 issues on Ultra that I have to read.
And how much that plays into the Lazarus stuff that's going on now. He brings back what's happened in this World's Finest stuff into the modern continuity. So when we thought this was all a side story, now this is pretty important stuff that happened in the past. And it's really interesting how he's paving the way forward with this. We are now officially out of Dark Crisis, and I guess this kind of is something that happened.
Yeah, it's out of Dark Crisis into the dawn of DC, coming through Lazarus Planet or something.
So
which I haven't read yet. I'm waiting for that to come to Ultra. I'm very interested in it.
I've read the 2 Lazarus Planet. They're just collection of short stories. And I feel like the main story's kind of been going on in the Batman and Robin, but it's interesting how much it uses from this. Mark Waid knows what he's doing.
Cool.
So that's cool. I read also.
I know from certain. What did I read? Which books was it? I read so many, but I know that there was another connection. They were talking about the Devil of Neza.
Yep, that's I didn't want to. But yeah, he is the one kicking off and causing the Lazarus stuff to happen.
Oh, that's yeah.
So he is back, and that's why I was like, "Oh snap!" There's more to it, but it was still kind of like, "Oh snap!" Wow, good on you, Mark Waid.
Right? Was it Justice League?
So. I've been reading a lot of the. I caught up with all the One Bad Days. The one I haven't read Bane's, but man,
I read Bane's. I also read Two-Face and Riddler. Sorry,
none of the books have let me down. I thought Riddler's was probably the weakest. I think Mr. Freeze is the strongest. Then Penguin. Then Two-Face. And like I said, I haven't read Bane's yet, but they all have been really good.
Yeah, they all were really good. One Bad Day, when it came to the Riddler and Two-Face, it didn't really seem like they were like continuity per se, like they fit like in right now or someplace that we are currently like pulling from. But the Bane one seemed to use things that have happened in continuity. Batman getting addicted to Venom, Bane kicking Venom and not using it anymore, as well as the death of Alfred. They touch upon all of that stuff, and I wasn't expecting it to be like to grab things from continuity like that. But the Bane the really cool thing about the Bane story is, I want to talk about it. I don't want to spoil it though.
Dang it! All right, I need to go watch it, and then we'll talk about it. I mean, read it, not watch it. But all right, I will read it, and we will talk about it next time.
All right.
But yeah, those have been great, and I've been trying to catch up on Detective Comics. I went back and I started reading old Shazam. I was trying to read more of old Shazam stuff.
Did you get your Ultra yet, or?
I did.
Awesome. Awesome. Fantastic. I got like 10 more pages to read on Dark Crisis of Infinite Earths number 7, and I'll have read that entire storyline, mainline miniseries, as well as all the tie-ins.
Nice.
Yeah. So, then I read The World's Finest, and then I'm going to be branching out again to grab some more, because I try to go through books as they come in weekly, you know, and try and keep up on all of them, so I don't like read a large chunk of one thing and then go and read another large chunk of something. This way I can kind of keep the stories a little straighter than when I read like 200 issues in 2.5 months.
It is harder when you're bouncing around in time trying to keep things straight, but you're trying to read some older stuff that you just want to enjoy, but then you're like, oh yeah, that didn't happen. So, but yeah, that's kind of it for comics right now. We're just kind of taking it in a stride. And the next thing, I wanted to mention this, the Superman Speechless comic. What's so interesting about this is what they're doing is Janine and I, when we were in Cincinnati, met a lady who makes books like this. And what it is it's a comic book, but there's no words in it. And it's for kids to look at the pictures and then to tell you the story.
Ooh.
So that there's no dialogue, it's just pictures, and then they kind of create and make up the story themselves. We bought the kids a book like this of dragons from a lady at a con, and now we have this. So I think that's kind of neat.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds really neat.
So our next segment is, I kind of have this kind of quick notes thing here. Just kind of the history of who are the Legion. Usually we talk about that, before we dive into something, but I just was going to do a quick kind of history on who are the Legion and the characters. So here we go. The Legion of Superheroes is a fictional superhero team appearing in DC Comics, created by Otto Binder and artist Al Plastino. The Legion is a group of superpowers beings living in the 30th and 31st century. First appeared in Adventure Comics 247 in April of 1958. Initially, the team was closely associated with the original Superboy character and was portrayed as a young group of time travelers. Later, the Legion's origin and backstory were fleshed out, and the group was given its own monthly comic. Eventually, Superboy was removed from the team altogether and appeared only an occasional guest star. The team has undergone 2 major reboots during its run. The original version was replaced with a new rebooted version following the events of the 0 Hour storyline in 1994, and another reboot team was introduced in 2004. A 4th version of the team, nearly identical to the original version, was introduced in 2007. And then in 2019, DC announced a new series written by Bendis. Superman was featured series in Adventure Comics in the 50s. In Adventure Comics 247, Superboy meets 3 teenagers from the 30th century, Lightning Boy, Saturn Girl, and Cosmic Boy. Notice it's Lightning Boy, who were members of a superhero club called the Legion of Superheroes. Their club had been formed with Superboy as an inspiration, and they had time traveled to recruit Superboy as a member. After a series of tests, Superboy was awarded membership and returned to his own time. Although intended as a one-off story focusing on Superboy, the Legion proved so popular that it returned for an encore in Adventure Comics 267, December of 59. Now, I went ahead here and I put some of the more famous members of the Legion. There have been hundreds of characters, but I think these are the ones I've kind of assembled that we hear come up more and more and are pretty common core. Cosmic Boy, Saturn Girl, Lightning Lad, Bouncing Boy, Chameleon Boy, Phantom Girl, Triplicate Girl, Brainiac 5, Mon-El, Supergirl, Starboy, Dream Girl, and Timberwolf. And I should have organized them by boy and girl. So it could have been like boy, girl, girl.
Yeah.
So the 0 Hour reboot, 1994 to 2004. Following 0 Hour, a new Legion continuity was created, beginning with a retelling of the origins starting in Legion of Superheroes Volume 4, Number 0, and continued in a spin-off sister series, Legionnaires Number 0, released in October of 94. Lightning Lad was renamed Livewire, and after the group's founding, a large number of heroes were added to the roster very quickly. Several members from the previous continuity were given new code names, and some new heroes were added, including XS, the granddaughter of Barry Allen, the second Flash, Kinetics, and Gates. While in some ways following the pattern of the original continuity, the new continuity diverged from the old one in several ways. Some characters died as they had previously, others did not. The 3-boot continuity was 2004 to 2009. Post Infinite Crisis was 07 to 11, and then the New 52 was 2011 to 2015. Those are all kind of different things that kind of happened with no substantial, really, anything that pops. A new Legion of Superheroes series from writer Brian Michael Bendis in 2019 was announced. It was a prelude to a series entitled Legion of Superheroes Millennium, was released in September and October, while the ongoing series debuted in November. The series ended in January 2021 with 12 issues. This was the one that featured John Kent and was, I don't know, I didn't read it because I don't like the Legion. But I thought about it just because of John Kent. In TV and film, representation, and animation, Cosmic Boy, Chameleon Boy, and Saturn Girl made an appearance on Superman, the animated series, in the episode New Kids in Town. The 3-team time traveler stopped Brainiac, who has traveled back to kill a teenage Clark Kent. Jason Priestley voiced Chameleon Boy, Melissa Joan Hart voiced Saturn Girl, and Chad Lowe voiced Cosmic Boy. In 2004, episode of Justice League Unlimited entitled The Greatest Story Never Told, the Legion's archvillain Mordo appears, member of the Justice League battle Mordo in the background while the narrative follows Booster Gold. The Legion, along with the Fatal Five, later appear in a 2006 episode of Justice League Unlimited entitled Far From Home, with Goggy Gress as Bouncing Boy and Matt, I can't pronounce his last name, is Brainiac 5. Supergirl was taken to the future to help fight the Fatal Five and free the Legion, and decided to stay, and the other Legionnaires who appear in the episode include Chameleon Boy, Colossal Boy, Cosmic Boy, Lightning Lad, Phantom Girl, Saturn Girl, Shadow Lass, Timberwolf, Ultra Boy, and Wildfire. Woo! And then, of course, the Legion of Superheroes cartoon that we are reviewing premiered in September of 2006. Saturn Girl, Phantom Girl, and Chameleon Boy appear in Young Justice Phantoms, which they did a great job in that series. Now, live action. In 2008, it was announced that Jeff Johns would be writing an episode of Smallville titled Legion, which would introduce the Legion of Heroes into the series continuity. The Legionnaires were the founding members Cosmic Boy, Saturn Girl, and Lightning Lad. The episode aired on January 15th, 2009, and featured the 3 Legionnaires fighting the Fatal 5 villain, the Persuader. Then later, of course, Brainiac 5 would appear in an episode played by James Marsters with his Legion ring, and of course the Legionnaires would reappear in Season 8, Doomsday. In The Flash, episode Welcome to Earth 2, as Barry and Cisco and Wells are traveling to Earth 2, glimpses of the multiverse are seen, including an image of the Legion flight ring. A flight ring appears in the Supergirl Season 1 episode Solitude. It appears as one of the objects inside the Fortress of Solitude. Later on in the series, the Legion will become very popular as we would meet Mon-El, who had joined the Legion, Saturn Girl, Brainiac 5, who would then stay on Earth while Winslow Shot would then go to the future to join the Legion. The Legion appears in the 2019 animated film Justice League vs. the Fatal 5. In this movie, members of the Fatal 5 attack the Legion's headquarters, steal a time sphere. Starboy accidentally follows, but the process of traveling to the 21st century, he loses his medication, which keeps his mind stabilized. He eventually meets the Justice League and teams up with them to fight the Fatal 5. And then the new film that will be coming soon. So that is our quick history on the Legion.
That was pretty succinct.
Yeah, I had some free time. And that brings us to this week's episodes. So we tackled, they're kind of getting back on order because like we discussed last time, was the order that we had on IMDb did not go with the order that was presented to us on our Blu-ray set. So we have episode Brain Drain. A major malfunction sends Brainiac 5's genius IQ plummeting. To obtain the rare element needed to save him, Superman and Timberwolf must travel to the most inhospitable planet in the galaxy, and thanks to a transporter accident, they have only Brainy's head to guide them. James, thoughts on this episode?
It was funny to see Brainy losing power and getting like delirious.
Yeah, and it kind of reminded me just because like he gets separated, so his body's off doing its own adventure.
Right.
Well, they're, and then of course the planet that they land on has weaknesses for Clark.
Yeah, like out of a yellow sun, like no yellow sun.
This is why I never liked Superman fighting in space. That's why I never liked Superman being out in space, man. Like it just always bothers me.
He didn't give up, and he got Brainy to, I don't know, stare at the mineral and recharge.
I mean,
it's kind of how it worked out.
It was cool. It happened like in the final second. So it was a fun episode with them, because there was like a big Kaluan connection that they all did, and Brainy hadn't done it in a long time. So, but when he did, it threw him out of whack, and they were just trying to put him back together.
Ah, okay.
The next episode we watched was Chain of Command. When disaster strikes Lightning Lad's home planet of Wenath, the Legion is called to help. Lightning Lad's efforts to take charge are thwarted, however, when long-absent Legion leader Cosmic Boy arrives with an enigmatic new hero in tow. So what did you think about this one?
Well, that was the third episode, and I got pulled away before the end.
So
that one I didn't finish.
No, my notes. It was interesting because we see Lightning Lad's like home get destroyed. We see him struggling and where people don't respect him, and they're it kind of tears the team apart. But then at the end of the episode, what's neat is they vote a new leader for the Legion. And who do you think they vote for?
Lightning Lad?
No. Bouncing Boy.
Oh, Bouncing Boy.
Bouncing Boy gets appointed leader because he's the only one that doesn't really want the job.
Oh, okay.
So it was interesting just to see Lightning Lads, struggling with trying to lead and be this inspiration of this force, but no one really respecting him and giving the time of day.
Yeah, I mean, when I pop it back on to watch the next couple of episodes, I will finish that one. But the second episode, episode 10, because you went episode 9, episode 11, episode 10 here.
Yep. Because I was doing the order 10, that they
the
came
substitutes. Oh, okay. Well, the episode 10, the substitutes, that was a really fun episode.
Yes, it was, because
I laughed hysterically.
I put in my notes, like, there's this huge spot where there's like no Superman, nothing. So why don't you talk about that one? Go ahead and kind of lead us into it.
It says, it's that time of year again. Legion auditions. This year's crop is hardly promising, with most hopefuls turning out to be comic duds. But when the Legion is overwhelmed, fighting a mysterious foe in Earth's upper atmosphere, a group of rejects takes it upon themselves to save the world below, with outrageous results. So a handful of people who didn't make the Legion this year during their like little recruitment interview stuff, which is really funny because there's like color boy.
Hold on, I got it written
color.
down. Hold on, because some of the auditions.
I know one was Porcupine Boy. I know one was the Stone.
Hold on. I got some of the names here. Okay. Chlorophyll Kid.
Yes.
Stone Boy, Color Kid, Porcupine Pete, Mad Eater Lad, Star Boy, Infectious Lass. Yeah. Those were some of the ones that auditioned.
Yeah. And it's funny because they try to save the day in their own way, and they all end up going wrong. Is quite funny. I really laughed when Stone Boy stood there with his hand up and turned to stone. When he turns to stone, he can't move, so he's just like a statue. And the criminal just ran by him. It was hilarious.
They're trying to fight Starfinger, who feels like a very Christopher Walken-inspired villain. And it plays out that Starfinger is like the cause of the creatures that are eating the atmosphere.
Yeah,
so it actually
they come out these like little tiny like cute bunny type chipmunk things, and then they float up into the sky and they transform into these like vicious insectoid type things, and they're eating the atmosphere. And when the duds on the ground call Brainiac to try and have them help, they say Starfinger is not important to us. He's a low-level crook, and we're dealing with something big right now. Ended up being Starfinger was the cause of it all.
Yep.
It's really funny. He's like, how do we get this glove off? I don't know. I never figured it out. And then Brainy's just like, click, and pulls it right off of his arm. How'd you do that? And then Stone Boy falls from space after he goes up with a balloon of these little cute things. And he turns to stone, and he says that he guided his trajectory right back down to crash at him from the upper atmosphere. It was hilarious.
They're like, that was great luck, Stone Boy. What are you talking about, luck? I purposely deduced, made the projector. I had to get the trajectory right and all this. What are you talking about, luck? So,
yeah, it was great.
It was a fun episode that just kind of, it takes you out for a split second just because you're like, huh? What's going on here? Because you're just thrown off that none of the people that you're expecting to do anything are really part of the episode, but it was refreshing that way.
Yeah. It was a very funny, very enjoyable episode. It was my favorite of the ones that we watched this go around.
it might be my favorite so far this season because I'm enjoying the Legion, but at the same time, like I feel like some of the episodes, nothing's really staying with me. You know?
Oh yeah, I see that.
Like I watch it, I enjoy it, but I'm not like. It's not like something like, oh my gosh, like this really was awesome. It's just like a fun watch, and you know we have 2 episodes left, and that's gonna end the first season. And I'm like, cool, because I'm actually really excited to get into the second season. Because I've never seen anything from the second season. And that's when we get some interesting changes to the characters. So.
Yeah, definitely.
But all right, man. That's all we got for this episode. It's kind of just catching up with some things and moving on through the Legion. The only other thing I had that I totally forgot about was we did get a picture that the Atom Man that Superman had battled in the flashback episode of season 1 of Superman and Lois will be returning in season 3 of Superman and Lois for an episode.
Oh, was that the image? I was like, oh,
yes.
I said that character, that must be an old image.
Yep, he's back because he just wrapped filming his episode, and Tyler's in the new costume, and of course, you know, Brian and I recently talked about Superman Smashes the Klan, which has that character more prominent in it. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with this character, and he's back.
Ooh, nice.
But yeah, so thanks everybody for tuning in and joining James and I as we discuss, just kind of get caught up and get back in the groove of things. Keep reading comics, you know. Let us know what you're reading. Let us know what you think. Hit us up on our social media. Check out our other episodes coming up.
Let us know if you're reading along with us on Ultra.
Yeah, like our comics, we're kind of readjusting comic reviews in some ways just because I want to do this segment more of like, what are you reading? Just because with Ultra, we are reading a lot and, you know, we're reading backwards and we're reading forwards. We're getting caught up on things and we're kind of caught up, but yet 1 month behind because it just makes sense for Ultra other than, you know, major Superman titles.
Well, you know what? Considering that I have found that when you buy multiple books and life happens, sometimes that reading stack just continues to grow.
Yeah.
And you might even have books in there that are well over more than 1 month old. You may have 3-month-old books in that reading stack that just continues to grow that you can never seem to make disappear. So I don't feel like 1 month with Ultra is really going to hurt our enjoyment of reading these books and talking about them with you guys.
Nope. Like I said, the only thing we're really going to keep going forward with is the Superman books as much as we can.
Yep.
So remember, everybody. We're going to press pause and hear a few words from our other podcasts on Press Play Podcast Network.
Hello, Brooks here with the Books with Brooks monthly book club podcast. Here's how Books with Brooks works. We read 1 book a month, and then we talk about it. Classics like Stephen King's The Shining, debut novels like We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lang, and tons of other compelling, life-changing stories, 1 book and 1 month at a time. So come read along with us, and then listen in.
If you are like Tyler and James and can't get enough super talk, check out these other podcasts. Digging for Kryptonite, Supergirl Radio, The Last Sons of Krypton, The Superboy Legacy Podcast, All-Star Superfans, Superman the Animated Podcast, The Aspiring Kryptonians, Always Hold On to Smallville, The Geek of Steel, and Truth, Justice, and Hope.
Remember to check out Krypton Report on all social media platforms. Go to linktree.com/Krypton Report. You find all of our information. $1 a month. You'll get extra special content that you don't get on the main show, like movie commentaries and whatever else comes out of our mouths. So check it out, patreon.com/Krypton Report.
This is Dan Jurgens, and if you want to have a good time, Keep listening to the Krypton Report.
Look up in the sky.
We just want to say if you've enjoyed this podcast, please check out other podcasts on the Press Play Podcast Network.